Hi everyone, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome to Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul Learning Series by Strategy.com. A very good evening to all of you. Fantastic to see each one of you here, and many of you are the mentees already. Firdaus, Kanil, Kulapali, Tarun, and a lot of you. Very good evening. It has been a fantastic week if you have understood the essence of time, and if you would have listened to me on Tuesday's webinar. So I'm assuming many of you might be there on my Tuesday's webinar. I just want to know very quickly how many of you were a part of the webinar which we conducted on Tuesday, where I talked about and mentioned that you have 3 days. The Bears have 3 days, not you. The Bears have 3 days because post Friday we are having 55-day cycle, which is Thursday, Friday, and then we have an Amavasya, which is happening on next Wednesday, and between that market will consolidate. And look at the way the events have turned out to be. It is simply fabulous. Each of the movement that we discussed about in the webinar on Tuesday happened precisely well. We conducted a live webinar yesterday along only for the mentees, and we talked about how break below 16,450 can result into another 200 points fall or 150 to 200 points fall, given that that will result into panic for 16,500 put sellers. And look at that, it worked out fabulous. The mentees are the one who have made most amount of the money, I suppose, from the yesterday's fall also. And many of the mentees have been sitting on the cash, they said, and it has worked out brilliantly because they saved a lot of money by not losing away in the market, and that has been simply fabulous. So it is fantastic. एंड आज जो हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं मार्केट के बारे में, आई एम गोइंग टू बी फॉर टॉकिंग अबाउट द मंथली चार्ट ऑफ निफ्टी. ओवरऑल क्या व्यू है, आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू समथिंग फैबुलस research that I have done, and how precisely based on that wave pattern the markets have moved and behaved. And we are also going to be talking about a lot about the wave pattern today. So काफी टाइम से काफी जन बोल रहे हैं कि वेव पैटर्न के बारे में हमने डिस्कस नहीं किया. दिस हैज वर्कड आउट सो फैबुलस from the wave perspective. So let me open up. Firstly, let me open up my trading view. There are a lot of charts. As I said, I am posting across on my trading view a lot. Not a trading view, my Twitter. So I posted a lot of charts on my Twitter handle. Let me start sharing across with respect to that. That what is the overall Twitter that I have posted, what are those charts and why the markets behave exactly. So one of the charts that I'm going to share across very quickly, so just give me a second, is about time and FLD. So I'm sure many of you are also here from my Master of Cycles program. They are simply going to be working, amazed, right? And the cycle was on the buy mode. Yesterday evening, I tweeted, the cycle turns buy today, the short term one, the long term one kicked in. I was expecting maybe it can be delayed by a few days, but it just kicked in right on time. And Friday, so time cycle worked awesome, right? Kulapali is saying yes, absolutely, it indeed worked awesome. So let me just share across very quickly over here. And okay, just a second. Over here you can clearly see one of the charts that I have shared across. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see the screen which I am just now shared across? This is the chart that I'm talking about on Nifty FLD. So participant from the Master of Cycles and the mentees will understand this very clearly. यहाँ पर जो intersection था, I think we discussed this also in the last Tuesday's webinar, if I'm not mistaken, or mentorship exclusive webinar हमने बात की थी. We take the width of the intersection from this point to this point, that was the width, and we project it on the downside. Okay, और यहाँ पर हमारा target आ गया exactly which was there, and Nifty had given nearly around 962 points fall from that level, and that is simply fabulous. And look at this time cycle. This is a 55 days time that I have been talking about. 55 days time. Confirmation came today itself. As per this cycle, if you look in the past, we have formed some meaningful lows on most of the occasions. So we rallied from here, We continue to rally from here. यहाँ से थोड़ा डिले होके we started rallying from here. In fact, यहाँ पर this was the only time when this low was breached, but then we rallied. And look at that low formed now. So 16,200 is the level that you have to keep a watch on. 16,200 is the level which is very, very crucial, and which is important that you have to keep a watch on. With this level of 16,200, if it remains intact, the 55-day cycle will keep pushing pressure on the upside. So यहाँ पर अगर ये level breach हो गया, then we will come out with alternate scenario. But as of now, on Tuesday when we were talking, Nifty was here and we talked about how Nifty has 3 days. The bears have 3 days of control. Post that the bulls will take control. ये सोच के what is astonishing to understand is the war happened exactly in the just before the time frame. The statement of US president came exactly here when it was a 55-day. Now the most important thing to think about is it actually the time that is moving the events happening on the globe, or is it the events which is the resulting into the movement of the market? Now I think the otherwise, because अगर ऐसा होता तो how come every single move which is happening on the market is precisely as per what we have talked about already in the past? And this is I'm not telling this after it has happened. I've discussed about this when this was not there was no such news. So let me just share across my page here, wavestrategy.com. यहाँ पर एक article पे जाते हैं. Once we go on the article, यहाँ पर we will be looking at this one. So I've plotted a lot of charts here. Look at this chart. This is Nifty chart as on 3rd February. Okay, and we have clearly mentioned about how the prices will behave. This is the low which was mentioned, and the low formed by Nifty is exactly here on the 55-day cycle. Okay, and from there we are out right now, bounce back to this point. Look at that. This was discussed on 3rd of February. Let's get in little more detail about it. यहाँ पर देखिए, यहाँ से मार्क किया था at this point the breach happened. Nifty came down till here, and from here we have seen a bounce back, and we are right now standing at this point. And it has worked like magic. Look at the entire movement. From here the crash happened, and from here the bounce back came here, which was exactly predicted 2 weeks prior to this war event. This is something not new for us, because we have been doing it even during the COVID days. When before the COVID, the market, before the crash of market, we expected the crash to come, and it came. In fact, on Tuesday, I said that 3 days there is a possibility, and it happened. So this clearly showcases that this is a science which works extremely well. अगर आपको पता है इस science को कैसे use करना है. And this is one of the chart which I wanted to share. So as per this 55-day cycle, we should see at least a week, if not more, at least a week of consolidation. मतलब 16,200 का लेवल एक हफ्ते तक ब्रेक नहीं होना चाहिए. If that is the case, can you not write 16,000 का put option now, but with carefully, in case gap down होता है 200-300 point, you need to be careful. Your stop loss is going to be 16,200. Can you not trade options basis of this information of time? Also, very clearly you can see a close of the candle. So we'll go to the live chart, and then we will discuss about this in much detail. Let me also explain it to you a few more things that I have mentioned about. This was yesterday when I mentioned that Nifty gap up is in sync. So let me show a very important chart as per volume profile. So यहाँ पर है volume profile, and 16,725 पे ये चल रहा था, ये पॉइंट पे चल रहा था, which showed a huge volume happening around this area. As soon as I mentioned and tweeted about this level, Nifty came down, which means whatever buying activity happened during the day, these intraday traders actually squared off their positions at this level. Intraday, I'm not talking about bigger time frame traders, I'm talking about shorter time frame traders. Okay. Uh, and you see that. So the bigger time frame traders are not active yet. The shorter time frame traders जिन्होंने positions create की थी, so this position there was nothing that happened here. Can you see this? This is the individual day volume and this is a cumulative volume on the right hand side. अभी हम जो देख रहे हैं, we are looking at an individual day volume. So ये जो crash हुआ था from 16450 to 16200 was purely rush from 16500 put sellers. उस कारण से हुआ and the volumes were very thin. So no one actually really sold except our mentees who were there in the live session actually. And from there we opened directly here, which means no activity has happened in the morning, only the buying happened till this point of time. And those traders who bought here in this range squared off at 16,725. That is very apparent by looking at this volume profile. Now the uptrend to resume, we need to breach above this high and pose that the next level that is there is around 16,920. Okay, 16,920 is this level where the next volume has taken place. So we can say that above 16,725, the next level to watch, 725 give some leeway. अगर 16,750, 16,750 is breached, then we can move towards 16,920 level. Now these are short-term play that you can do on the charts as of now. Not necessarily you can do this as per positional trade. This is not a positional trading market right now. This is a short-term intraday trading market. I'm telling you honestly. If you want to ride, you can ride by shorting puts, but the risk is heavy in case of another 300 points gap down if that happens. So that way you have to decide. Okay. And the blue and the green line is not about the buying and the selling volume. It represents the 70% of the data. So green is the 70% where the volumes have occurred. The blue are the areas where there is a thin volume. So the 70% of the volume occurred in this green zone. So here 70% of the volume occurred here in this green zone. So yesterday, as soon as this was taken out, it was a pure crash because there was no one wanting to buy the market. Okay. And this is about volume profile that I wanted to share across. Let me share across a few more charts and do ensure you are following me on Twitter. I told on CNBC that dip towards 16,600 can be used as an opportunity to buy, and that came exactly. So one very important thing that I want to also share across is this tweet, which says that Nifty turns on the buy side tomorrow near 1 p.m. and look at the low formed near around that, opened a gap up, showed a dip, and now we need to take out the level of 16,750 for this to confirm. Is it clear? Do not buy options in this scenario, क्योंकि अगर आप options buy कर रहे हैं, value deteriorate होगा. You will not be able to make money. Trust me. Do not buy options. If you want to trade, you need a strategy on options. You buy an option and you sell an option. You sell a call, or if you are selling a put, hedge it with a buying a put. That's how you have to be doing that. Do not fall into the trap of buying, क्योंकि यहाँ पर अगर आपने buy किया और market गिरा, then you know how to safeguard yourself. That is very, very important. Also, a few things I wanted to share across. There are so many tweets from Bhushan, from those people who have been doing fantastically well. So this is from the live trading session which we had, and then we can see a lot of those people how amazing. So this is from the mentees, and the reasoning was very good. The risk acceptable. Sold 16,450 to profit at 16,260. Can't hold overnight. Super. So live trading session. चलिए, so ये सब चीजें मैं बताना चाहता था आपको. अभी चलते हैं चार्ट पे. Am I making sense कि ये कैसे रीड करना है? So the reason I'm showing you all these charts and tweeting it across, so that we don't really have to go it every time on the chart and do it. So यहाँ पर सब पोस्ट कर रखा है, टेलीग्राम चैनल पे भी पोस्ट किया है, so you can simply go there and also refer to that. Let's go on the trading view now and try and look at those parts that are very, very crucial. Let me open up my chart right now. Just a second. So I'm sharing my view, trading view यहाँ पर. Okay, now if you are looking at this chart over here, you can clearly see one very important channel which is there on Nifty, which is connecting this top, and this was also posted by Gunjan in the morning on my Twitter handle. You can see it from there. So if you connect this top together, take a parallel to this. This is the most important aspect that you have to understand. So this is the channel that we are seeing, and we are bouncing back from that channel. So over here, we can clearly see that we are moving in this channelized fashion, the low form. Now, socho na, everyone is focusing on news and events. Yesterday was a confluence of time and price. Can you see that? Exactly. So if you would have been focusing on this chart, you know what is happening where. Isn't this something brilliant? Exactly यहाँ close हुआ. This was the channel support and on the time. Okay. We will also look at Bank Nifty. I think many of you want to know about Bank Nifty, so we will do that. Let's just look at this chart for now and understand what is the wave pattern. Now, this is one of the chart which looks amazing to me. And along with that, I also want to show you this is a 55 days time cycle. If you go on the weekly time frame, let us look at what has happened on a weekly time frame, and then we will look at the daily time frame. In the weekly time frame, the trend still is sell on rise because we have not closed above the prior week high. It is still sell on rise from the top of 18,300. अभी तक एक भी close previous week high के ऊपर नहीं हुआ है. That's one. On the daily time frame, if we are looking at the daily time frame, then we did manage to, the high of yesterday was 16,705. We closed today at 16,658. We have still not closed above the previous day high. Okay, हम अभी तक previous day high के ऊपर close नहीं किया है, even now. So we have not closed yet, which means it is still sell on rise until we see a close above the previous day high. Next, that's the next information. Now, if we apply the lunar cycle, shall we do that? When is the moon phase that we have looked at? So if we are applying the lunar cycle, let me just remove this. And we will be applying moon phases. Moon phases के हिसाब से we have already seen a top. And do you remember I talked about this top being forming on the Purnima, and can you see that happening from 17,480 levels? Nifty touched 16,200. Just basis of a lunar cycle. Making sense? You have to think yourself. How come this exactly Purnima, when nothing was suggesting about a war, topped out here, topped out here, topped out here, and topped out here? Look at that. Every single time it has worked fantastic, which means that we Indians are definitely following some kind of a lunar cycle. Okay, that is for sure in some way or the other. Or who knows, Putin is following that cycle. So that is what intrigued me, that top बना lunar cycle पे, low बना 55 days के cycle पे, and momentum generate होगा अमावस्या पे. Can you now relate the different ways in which the cycle is behaving? Is simply mind blowing. Clear है? Any questions on this? चले आगे Neo Wave की तरफ. So guys who are there on YouTube, if you want to join me on Zoom platform, you can still join me on the Zoom platform. We will also be looking at certain aspect. Just a second. Okay, thanks for sharing across. अभी चलते हैं Neo Wave. Let us understand what is happening from the Neo Wave perspective. I'm going to hide the moon phases now. and we know for sure how this works. So there are certain people who might say this does not work or that does not work or it is purely because of Russia, Ukraine. I ask them, if it is purely because of Russia, Ukraine, explain the channel. If it is purely because of Russia, Ukraine, explain the time. And if it was focused so much as per time, every single movement of past so many weeks, before the budget, I predicted that. Post that, I predicted that. Now it is what is being predicted and is shared across on the article. Every single movement is as per wave theory and time. You explain, will you be able to make money out of that, or will you be able to make money out of understanding the time and wave theory? So think about it. That is what is very, very important. Let's come to the wave pattern now. ठीक है, यहाँ पर wave X complete हुआ is what we were looking at. From here we got a rise in the form of wave A. यहाँ पर wave B complete हुआ. We completed wave C here. Since we broke this low, since we have broken this low, we will be completing wave D around here. This is where we completed wave D around this level. From here, this is wave E, which is possibly complete at this point of time. Okay, and post that, this was wave A, this is wave B. This, looking at this structure, there is a possibility we might have completed wave C here, or we might be just completing with one dip and completing C there somewhere. Now this entire wave E would have completed at this point of time, which started from 7,511. This outlook remains valid as long as we do not retrace back above the level of 17,200. Okay, we do not retrace back above 17,200. This is purely for wave enthusiasts. I'm talking from wave perspective. So my take is still with the fact that we might have completed a triangle pattern which was going on for so long. We have already broken down that triangle pattern, and this pullback, what we are seeing, is a temporary affair. As long as we do not breach that 17,200 mark again on the upside. If that happens, this will only delay the topping process in a way where we will might have to shift wave D over here, and then the alternate possibility that wave E is still ongoing, post which we will come on the downside, will open up. Okay, the given the scenario of the cycles of 55 days with a lunar cycle, the possibility and the expected path of Nifty, which I'm going to share across looking at this chart, is something like this. So we completed C here. Looking at this chart, we might have a push on the upside, maybe an overlapping push, something like this. We'll complete and do a lot of time pass for at least a few days, given the 55 day, and then we might start seeing some kind of a breakdown happening. Now yahan par you can always find out reasons of why it happened, when it happened, and this looks to be the preferred scenario as of now. And once this breakdown happens, if that happens, बहुत important है, if that happens, I'm still saying very diplomatically, नहीं तो क्या होगा, आप जाके सब कुछ बेच दोगे और market rally हो गया, then you will curse me for saying that ऐसा होना चाहिए था. So I'm not enforcing markets to do what it will do what it has to do. I'm just saying that what is the expectation from looking at the overall chart over here. So this is the path I think markets can follow, but it is too soon to conclude. Let's see if 17,200 gets broken or remains intact, or whatever happens from here. Making sense? I think Kenil was very enthused about knowing the wave pattern. So this is how it is looking out to me. When I say this is wave one, this wave one means that the entire trend is over. What if 17,200 is broken on the upside? If 17,200 is broken, then it will indicate that possibly we might have a bigger upward thrust, but I still do not see 18,400, 18,600 to be taken out. We might have an upward thrust towards 17,600 before we complete wave E. This might turn out to be an extracting triangle. So E should remain smaller than C, since C was smaller than A, and D became bigger than, I'm assuming, if that is the case. So that is how it can be. So wave E can be maximum 99% of C. Kenil, you might want to also check if the entire, yeah, so D is obviously bigger than B in that case. So that is what we are looking at. So it will still be a distribution going on, looking at the wave pattern. That is how it looks like. So over the short term, I think this might be the path that Nifty can follow, basis of wave theory and on the basis of time cycle. Okay, so that is very, very interesting. And one more thing that I wanted to share across is Bank Nifty. Shall we look at Bank Nifty? Many people have been talking about Bank Nifty. Just let's look at that. So if we are here, so do not be focused on the news. Market is doing what it has to anyways do. The news are only going to be just distorting your views, nothing else. So don't focus on the news, focus on the charts. That is very, very important. Okay, so focus on the chart and not the news. Just one more second. I'm just going to be sharing across. Uh, where is the screen on? Here. Are you able to see my screen? Bank Nifty. So let me share across one more thing. Why I am not changing my view. Okay, this was the view which I produced on 3rd of Feb in an exclusive interview, in an exclusive discussion with mentees, where I mentioned about a pullback should come, and this is the pullback, a pullback, and wave E complete. So there is no reason for me to not stay with what was forecasted. So we are here right now. So there is no reason for me not to believe this is going to work even now. So यहाँ से maybe a pullback, and then we will see. So that's what should continue. जो तब भी predict किया था, exactly this is how it behaved, and this is how it should continue unless I see a weekly change, monthly trend change. और बहुत important है monthly chart, not a single candle since October 20 has changed on the monthly time frame. Okay, so चलिए अभी I'm just sharing across a Bank Nifty chart. So I'm just going to remove this cycle for now. Bank Nifty का रहने दो, let it be. What is happening with Bank Nifty on the monthly time frame देखते हैं. Okay, अपवर्ड थ्रस्ट है एग्जैक्टली फ्रॉम 3rd March, लेकिन अपवर्ड थ्रस्ट का मतलब ये नहीं कि 17,200 निकल जाए. अगर 17,200 गेट्स ब्रोकन टुमारो और ऑन मंडे, then wave E is going on and maybe a further movement might be seen. That is what we will do that. Okay, now Bank Nifty का monthly chart अगर हम देख रहे हैं तो Bank Nifty monthly is still bullish because prior month has closed above previous high. The weekly is still bearish. Weekly has nothing changed. The daily on the Bank Nifty, if we are looking at, it has still not closed above the high of yesterday. Okay, so nothing has happened today in a way. Maybe अगर आपने morning में लिया था शाम को बेच दो. That's the only thing that you should have done. Because of this, we might continue to have a gap down on Monday again and start shifting or drifting higher. But the low should protect. That's what it's looking like on Bank Nifty. And on the Bank Nifty, if you are looking at the overall formation from the wave perspective, I'll just going to make this line a little transparent so that we are able to see the chart. But if I do that, I'll not be able to recover it later. So let me make it a little grid line type. If you are looking at this and overall, so Bank Nifty had a very, very clear picture for me, which suggested an X wave was complete here, a wave A done, wave B done. This was wave C, pretty clear about that. This was D, very obviously clear. And this completed wave E with a head and shoulder pattern formed here. Within this E also you had an A, B done, C done, D done, and wave E done. So this was bigger degrees. You can make a note of that. And then we have a smaller degree movement, and now the neckline retest. Classic retest is happening here. Maybe a little drift higher, or after this retest for few days should go by because of the cycle which will try to push prices higher. But if it is in true sense a bigger degree down move, then the cycles will lose their strength very soon, because we have an 85-week time which is still protecting as an inversion the top formed in October and November. So we have looked at those 85 weeks. So abhi main usme nahi ja raha, nahi to I can continue to go on for hours this way if I keep explaining about the various chart and how the patterns looking like. And I'm sure mentees might be seeing this entire thing that I did today like a mentorship program where we discuss for 3 hours on how to look a chart and how to do that. But fantastic work. I can see Yogesh, Firdaus, Sanjeev. So many of you have brilliantly made so much of money in this entire crisis when people have been losing that. So you guys are doing simply fantastic. It's Bipin and all many more. So in true sense, I really feel proud that I'm able to create traders out of someone who might not know much about market. So that is fantastic. Okay, that is brilliant. Okay, any questions? So just a very quick note, we for people who are here right now, I am also going to be running a contest. So we have run contest on giving away the book, which has been fabulous. So one more contest that I'm running right now, guess the Nifty levels. Okay, let me just share the screen and the link. Here is the link for participants, every one of you here. Here is the link. Guess the Nifty level for the coming week, Thursday expiry, and the three winners. So nearest guess of the three winners, you just have to click on that link. Three winners will get access to free research for 1 complete month. This is a giveaway from me because of the brilliant work that you people are doing. So I'm giving away whatever is possible. So this is, I'm just going to share across the link. The link is shared across over here and also on the YouTube. I'll just do that. And here is the page. So once you click on that link, you will see this page. What you have to do is you have to fill in the details and just mention that. So participate here. You will get 1 month of research free from my side. I mean, and we will select three winners this time, not only one. So guess where is Nifty going to be? Amit Kumar did fantastically well. I think he's also there in the mentees who guessed Nifty at 16,400 and Nifty closed at 16,220 yesterday. Okay, so that is what we have to do. Manish is asking how to decide day cycle for index and stocks. Manish, master of cycles में वही तो किया और mentorship में वही करने वाले हैं. So participate in this contest, and also very quickly, we are also running advisory offer, which is 2+1 offer. So if you subscribe for 2 months of research reports or advisory, you will get 1 month free. So that's the offer page that you can see it here. How to get that link? You can simply visit wavestrategy.com, and once you do that, and there is a Russia-Ukraine banner, you click on that, and you will be able to get this offer. So my team will call you and coordinate and will register you up. Russia Ukraine offer, yeah, because yeah, market ka movement itna zyada hai because of Russia Ukraine, everyone thinks that way. So I thought, why not to call it Russia Ukraine offer? Okay, that's an interesting name, right? That's how it is happening, and very interesting stand by the countries and a lot of those things I was going through. It's very interesting to see how the world politics is panning out. Uh, that is that is clearly great, and I completely agree with Firdaus saying Menti should donate a part of their winnings to Ukraine. Absolutely, that is something very interesting. Okay, fantastic guys. So, and also one more thing, do you want to be a part of the upcoming mentorship program on timing the market, which is happening on when the end of March? Do you want to be a part of this fantastic mentorship program and you want to learn from me for a period of 3 months, associated for lifelong, get access to various trainings that we are conducting in this period, live events that you will be a part of. We will have live trading sessions. You will be a part of exclusive webinars, live trading that we keep conducting like we conducted yesterday. Don't you want to be doing that together? So we are going to do it together. And don't you want to do that? So that's a very, very interesting aspect of, what's happening around the globe is why Russia is doing all of those things. So I was analyzing all of that, and it turns out to be a very deep rooted going decades ago with World War II. It is related to World War II, what happened then, and then what changed, and a lot of those things. So uh, that's going to be interesting. Why don't MOC participants get time related mentoring? What does that mean? Mentoring requires not only MOC, mentoring requires a step by step process on how do you place a stop loss basis of volatility, how do you position size, how do you trade options, how do you form a strategy around option in this kind of environment when the volatility is extremely high and it's looking like going to cool off. What should be the strategy that you should be forming, how you should select a stock, and how you should be forming your algo for stock selection, how to trade live during the market. And that is what all I say is mentorship. So it can't be done in just 2 days of time. It requires months and months of changing the old habits, becoming disciplined, following your own rules, following your trade setups, and developing one. That is what mentorship is all about, Varsha. So it takes a lot of time, effort, and polishing and unlearning, learning new things. So lots get into that, and that's what I give across. Okay. So Hussein is saying it's so exciting, rewarding to put into practice what we learn from you. Can't wait for mentorship to start. Same here. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. And do ensure to participate in the contest. Be a part of the mentorship if that works. And be ensure that whatever you are doing, you do it very carefully. Because if you don't do it carefully, you might lose out equally fast. This market is giving you ample of opportunities to trade on the upside or on the downside, but you need to have a trade plan, a clear strategy, a goal in mind, money management, and risk management. Those are the most important thing that least talked about, and that's what we do in the mentorship program. Okay, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. The link of mentorship will be shared across by my colleague. And can we predict market using wave theory? Nitin, I have been talking about predictions since 40 minutes using wave theory itself, right? You can refer my article in case you join late. So it has worked out fabulously well. So why not? You can definitely do that. Great. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Stay tuned, and we will meet again next week. Thank you.